to explain what a panic attack is and also what panic disorder is, because these two terms are often confused and often used interchangeably. Once I've explained what the difference is, I'm then going to help you to self-diagnose, because the first step to getting help is knowing what the problem is. Okay, so a panic attack is a discrete episode of anxiety. The onset is sudden, the duration is really short, usually only about 3 to 5 minutes, and you experience very severe, intense and overwhelming symptoms of anxiety. For example, breathlessness, heart palpitations, dizziness and nausea. Now, the intensity of this experience is borne out in the fact that 20 to 44% of people presenting at A&E with non-specific chest pains are actually diagnosed as having had a panic attack. Now, the reason a panic attack happens is because our fight-flight response is triggered in the absence of a challenge that response can be used to deal with effectively. So you're kind of just left with an overwhelming amount of physical sensations and no kind of action to take. So no danger to fight, no danger to flee from. Okay, so a panic attack can often be a one-off occurrence, which happens when people are just really, really stressed out. And afterwards they might feel quite shaken, but if they don't have a history of anxiety or depression, they will just move on from this experience, putting it down to, that was a tough time. A panic disorder happens after you've had a panic attack, and then your biggest fear is having another one. And it kind of takes over your life, really. It influences all of your decisions, and your main motivation is to avoid having another panic attack. About 5% of the population struggle with panic disorder, and it can be a really debilitating problem, and it can lead often to people becoming housebound because they are so determined not to have another panic attack. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a few questions now, and these will help you to identify if panic disorder is the problem that you are dealing with. Okay, so question 1. Are you overwhelmed by a fear of having a panic attack? Question 2. Do you constantly worry about fainting, collapsing, or causing a scene in public? Do you worry about going mad when you feel anxious? Do you worry about suffocating or having a heart attack when you feel anxious? Do you avoid situations because you fear they might trigger a panic attack? And do you often experience strong symptoms of anxiety? So heart palpitations, dizziness, breathlessness, nausea, tingling in your fingers and toes. Okay, if you've answered yes to one or more of these questions, it's quite possible that you are struggling with panic disorder. But you don't need to suffer, because there are lots of very, very effective treatments out there. So in the next video, that's what I'm going to look at. I'm going to explain a little bit about the treatments that are available. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.